Well, on day 2 of the meeting, the ANC was at pains to restore confidence in its ability to solve the country's energy crisis. NEC member and Electricity Minister Kgosientso Ramokgopa conceded that it wasn't feasible to end load shedding this year. Now, this is contrary to assurances made by some in the party, including Secretary General Fikile Mbalula, that the energy crisis would be resolved by December. Newzroom Africa's senior politics reporter Ziyanda Ngcobo has more.
The Lekgotla also called for the acceleration of the plans of the committee such that there is no load shedding by the end of the year.
Barely 5 months in the year, and already the leadership of the ANC is contradicting itself about the escalating energy crisis. On Saturday, the new man tasked with dealing with electricity outlined a detailed plan. Minister Kgosientso Ramokgopa says it's impossible to end load shedding by the end of this year.
I would want to sit here and say to the country that load shedding will end tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's not possible. And it's also not technically possible for us to end load shedding by the end of the calendar year 2023. So, and that's why we are at pains to illustrate the kind of steps that we are taking. If you like, the winter period now and the next 6 months, and the 6 months going into 18 months. So the long and short of it is that no, load shedding will still be with us even by the end of this calendar year. But we'll do everything possible to ensure that its intensity is not as severe, so that we get the South African economy going.
Ramokgopa says they're aiming to add 12,000 megawatts to the energy grid in the next 6 to 18 months. This will be done through, amongst other things, a power purchase agreement with Mozambique, adding battery storage for more megawatts, and the Energy Department will be opening a new bid window in May.
On the bid windows, we say by May of this year, so essentially next month, we're opening bid window 7, but that bid window 7 must be allocated in areas where there's existing grid capacity. So part of the problems that we had with the previous bid window, the fact that we have not been able to provide the entire allocation, is that in the Eastern Cape, Western Cape and Northern Cape, we don't have grid capacity. So now, bid window of 7 will, of the 5,000 megawatts, we are going to focus on the northwest, the Free State, Mpumalanga and Limpopo.
Ramokgopa has again given his own personal undertaking that he'll always be frank with the South African public, and that contrary to last week's reports, the country was never taken to stage 8 of load shedding.
We had not reached stage 8. I mean, they would have. I asked formally, because when I saw what was in the public domain, just to give you a sense, the system operator works in cycles of 32 hours. If you reach stage 6, in that 32 hours, you are not going to have electricity for 16 hours, so half of the time. Of course, if you have to translate it to 24 hours, it doesn't necessarily translate elegantly because we're working on a 32-hour cycle. So essentially, we are going to have 12 hours of no load shedding. Stage 8, 4 interruptions of supply, each for 4 hours, giving you 16 hours in a 32-hour cycle. So no, Eskom has not communicated with us. So I really don't have any reason to doubt what they communicated to me and Minister Godan.
The ANC's Economic Transformation Commission Chair Mamuluko Kubai says questions regarding the precise roles and functions of Ramokgopa will be outlined by the President, as this is his prerogative. At the same time, the pair also emphasized that they understand the urgency around appointing a permanent CEO at Eskom, which they say they're engaging Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan about. For Newzroom Africa on Channel 405, I'm Ziyanda Ngcobo in Boksburg.